Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend DG Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
Full stream ahead. Your host, Mozz and Jordan. With me, as always, is the lovely and talented internet granny herself, Lilith Hellfire.
Oh, thank you for the great introduction, my skinny rich friend and captain of the ship.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Right on. So, welcome everybody to another episode. Today, again, we're continuing our coverage of the amazing Amazon Prime show, I'm a Virgo, where we'll be talking about Season 1, Episode 3, Paco Rabanne.
It's French.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It's like an artist or something like that.
Oh, no, I thought it was like a clothing brand or...
Yeah, but it's like based on an artist from like the...
Oh, geez, I don't know. I just thought it was the name of a designer.
Yeah,
huh.
Pretty cool.
Interesting. So, like, again, not as short of an episode as last week, but still only a 30-minute episode. But I just kept finding myself looking at the timestamp going, oh, my God, so much has happened. It has been, 7 minutes? Like the first 9 minutes are so jam-packed with stuff. And
do you think
really,
that's intentional because of Flora and her superpowers? So they're trying to show us a little bit, just a sample of like how she views life, maybe?
Yeah.
Like everything in?
I mean, a lot of what they covered was that, but even in this aspect, in this dimension of just thinking how closely everything is packed, yeah, I didn't even look at it from that perspective. But yeah, even that gives us an insight into what she's experiencing. The way they tackle helping us understand what she's going through, or I mean, they hint that she might be autistic, but the way they deliver that to you, where it lands on you, you're like, oh my God, that must feel so claustrophobic and lonely. It is just amazing. And the fact that he packed it into like a little 30-minute episode is just outrageous.
You know, I get so mad, but like in a good way, because I'm like, I go and watch it and the show ends, and I'm like, it's over every single time so far. That's the mark of a really good show. Like, I know that it's 30 minutes, but also I know that like from time to time it could be a little shorter, or they could give us a little more. And I'm always hoping that they're just gonna do just a little bit more. But Boots Riley loves to leave you hanging.
Yeah, no, and I don't mind it. I love being hung. I love looking for questions or having things to think about when we're done or wondering. That's way more interesting than an unsatisfying answer, even though, and I think I can have the confidence to approach it that way, because I'm pretty confident we're going to get something satisfying towards the end. So I can allow myself to ride these, thermal winds of conspiracy theories and whatnot, because I know there's going to be something definitive at the end. So super, super excited. And watch there not be. Watch there not be.
I was wondering though, like,
yeah, I know.
They had the 4 episodes of South by Southwest. And I'm like, now it makes sense, because they're like, it's basically just like a movie, the first 4 episodes, right? So I'm wondering if that next episode 4, is going to be like, okay, I gave you the first 4. Now you got to go pay Prime for the last 3 to see how it all ends.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, they would get me. I'd have to know.
Yeah.
So anyway, we open up on them on their date. And I love that they were just focusing on their lips. Right? It was something interesting and something so expressive about that. You don't see their faces, but because you put so much more emphasis on every little movement, every prick of your muscle. you imagine what the rest of the face is doing or what implications that subtle little movement has. And what a great way to sort of like really bring us into that world right away. But it's interesting. She's also like a little bit like poking at him a little bit. So don't try to be so smooth. And then she's like, I'm really good at being alone. And I was like, she's playing coy all of a sudden. Oh, look at her, you know?
I don't even think it's coy. I think that she is like, if we are to read this character, even just in the spirit of just maybe being autistic, you know, and she is comfortable enough where she's not masking anymore. She just tells people how they feel and how they look to her, and maybe they shouldn't do that.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. That makes sense.
She tells him to slow down, and I thought that was really cute and funny in a way too.
Yeah. No, I just found it like almost incongruent with the way I saw it, but yeah, that makes so much sense. That's interesting.
Charlie says she's not autistic, but if you see some traits, feel free. It doesn't bother him.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I wonder, like, they've expanded the definition of that term so much over the last few years. I wonder if there's something to be said for something that's in our food or medicine or something, that so many people have so many symptoms that they just don't know what to call it. They're like, yeah, it's a catch-all. What the spectrum means is, yeah, it could be this, it could be that. There's a lot of shit that went wrong.
Exactly. It's a spectrum. But like, also, like, what is even normal? Like, you know, not for nothing, psychiatry was like, and mental health is built around white males of a certain age. Same thing with like our health industry in general. It's not really for people of color, women, things like that. So, you know, if you deviate outside of that quote unquote norm, like, what does that even mean in 2023?
Yeah.
Like 5 years from now, no, you're normal, you're fine. You just have a certain perspective on life that, you know, people want to put you in a box in. It's totally fine. You know, I feel like that's how it's going to be in like the next 10 years.
Yeah, but that's a goddamn slippery slope, man.
Truly.
Yeah, you know, it's like, yeah, just keep redefining the border. No, that doesn't mean anything either. Yeah, no, don't worry about that. That doesn't mean anything.
Well, we live in America where, you know, healthcare is, well, you know, is a mess. So,
yeah. So they gave us a tiny little interruption where you thought, what's the superhero in that world? The Walter Goggins character with his little launch pad.
Just the hero.
Oh, right, the hero. He has a launch pad McQuack, helicopter.
Gadget.
Oh my God, it's so terrible, but like it's so goofy in like the perfect way.
That absurd, like I love how like sometimes it's like, oh, I'm getting too heavy, I'm getting too real. Let's bring back out the surreal absurdism of it all.
Yeah. Really, it's okay. This is perfectly fine. It's just a dream. It's just a dream, you know. But yeah, so I thought we were gonna get more of him. You get like a little standoff between him and Jones. And like
everybody in his life, in Cootie's life, is telling him, hey man, the hero is bad news. His parents tell him, his friends tell him, and now Flora tells him. So it's like the rule of three, right? So something's bound to happen with the hero now that the rule of three has struck. Yeah,
I mean he's just a sweet innocent little kid, and we're gonna get to watch him get comfortable with how dark the world can be and how different than what it was painted for him. Like he still believes in Santa Claus, right?
Yeah.
But like at least those ideals and the reason for his belief in that is pure.
Yeah. Just like her belief in like wanting to be a chef and like have like a restaurant where you can eat healthy, cheap food, because like eating healthy is super expensive.
Yeah.
If anybody's ever been to Whole Foods or anywhere like that, or even just organic at Walmart, it's like an extra $1 and some change.
Yeah.
Which adds up.
It does indeed.
So and that was really cool.
Yeah,
and they can slow down and focus. I was just like, oh, that's kind of neat.
Huh. Yeah. And like even there, all the food that he's eating, he's not used to, our normal people kind of food. He's been fed,
Nobody should be used to that.
Yeah. And so immediately he starts throwing up, and then she uses her speed force to go get the bucket. That was adorable. Yeah, but she did take him to a buffet. NYC buffet, by the way, which was kind of nice, Everybody's thinking about us. Let's see. So then it was really cool because at that moment you're like, oh, that's why they were so pulled in on the lips, because you didn't want us to know that we were at the restaurant yet. We're out in public. This conversation that felt so intimate just now is happening out in public, and all of a sudden the crowd noise gets turned up. You're like, whoa, really, really nice. And then
that was a nod to that superhero trope where everybody talks really loud, but it's supposed to be a whisper too.
Interesting. Yeah.
Because like everybody keeps saying it's a superhero show, and I'm just like,
oh, it is.
Is it though? I mean, it is, but is it though?
Yeah, I mean,
but, like they're kind of like making fun of these little tropes here and there. Like when I kind of
right.
contextualize it into that framework.
Yeah, I guess it's using the vehicle of a superhero show to make fun of superhero shows, right?
But like it's subtle. It's not like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it still has the hallmarks that make a good superhero show. Yeah. A hero you believe in, a bad guy that seems believable, and a motley crew of characters to, one builds you gadgets, one gets you this, So he's getting his little posse together. It seems perfectly in tune with what a superhero should be. A superhero show should be. All right, so this scene was hilarious when he goes, we're all special. And she goes, what do you mean? She goes, see, like you, how you're so fat. And it just slows time down. I was like, oh my God. And you could see, like, inexperience because he's just a child, right? A child would say that without thinking about it. And so this whole time I'm like, and what's cool is like, you don't know what he does say. So you're like, you think he said fat because they were sort of hinting towards it. Hey, you eat as much as I do. So they sort of prime you for that response. And then when you think you're getting it, you're like, oh my God. And then she cuts away and you see the moment she has and you see it. Well, I see it from my perspective is, man, that really hurt her. And the fact that time stopped and you just have to sit and watch her deal with that. I was like, man, what a great way to highlight like how she's feeling, how tremendously uncomfortable you can feel in a split second, but how much emotion and thought and connecting thoughts go into what you're feeling in that moment. The gravity, that was beautiful. And then all of a sudden you get sucked into her childhood. Yeah. And at first I didn't get it. They're like, the parents are still, and she's just like sad and moving little by little. And not until like later when she writes that letter and she goes, read this over and over again. And if I can read this really slow, maybe we can communicate and I won't be so alone. And it's exactly like what he said to her in the beginning. So it was a nice little cut back to that of what that moment really meant for her, what she meant when she says, oh, I'm good at being alone. And then he says, I don't have to be alone anymore. And for her, it was like, man, I had that moment when I broke out and was able to communicate with people. He was stuck in a house and he's having this moment right now. Such a cool, beautiful little thing. And then when like she sounds it out really slowly, like, and just say, oh, you think, man, wow, you really have to focus. Like, if you had to try to listen to something fast and break it down and try to read it slowly, how difficult that would be. And that's how she manages her entire life.
She has to it's kind of sad, but you do what you have to do to meet people halfway, I guess.
Yeah. But like at first, like her parents are frozen and you think it's just like a cool cinematography thing or a poetic license thing that just like, no, it's just like the moment we had earlier where I thought they stopped because time stopped because they wanted us to feel her pain. But then you get there, and then when they start moving because of her talking slower, then you realize, oh, no, that's really what her life felt like before she had this moment. And that it was so powerful, and they delivered it so quickly. And they were doing so many other things while delivering that moment. I just thought it was incredible. What a way to really put you in someone else's shoes without you even realizing they were doing it,
Yeah. What I found interesting is that they both don't have mothers.
Oh, right. I'm looking at my notes. So mom left. Oh, yeah. I didn't like because but
which is weird. Like usually it's the other way around. Like I appreciate. She doesn't have a deadbeat dad that she's raised. Right.
And how much of a trope would that be to give him another deadbeat dad? So like, yeah, it's interesting to take that take on it. But yeah, no, now it's making me wonder, like, what is the story with his mom? Is it like, you know, particles that are, what's the word, where they're linked in a quantum way where one affects the other? What's the word? Entangle. Are they like entangled particles where, like, because we know what her relationship with her mom is, does it imply what his relationship with his mom was too? Did they save him because his giant mom left, or was something? Were they altruistic in doing it, or was he kidnapped from a family of giants because they thought they could use him? Are his parents the bad guys? Jesus, I don't know. I didn't even think about that.
Are they even his aunt and uncle? Like,
right. Are they just like gorilla poachers, right?
Exactly.
God damn. That's
like
I didn't expect that to be that dark. I didn't realize it until just now. I was like, oh my God, are they the bad guys?
Answers about that. It's just making me a little leery with like all the tech and the guns and wanting to keep him secret and like, like, you know, he lies to him constantly. Like if you lie about not eating a burger, what else are you lying about?
Man, what a spinning back fist that would be, like a punch you don't see coming, you know? Holy cow, if they're the bad guys.
Oof.
And then to end that whole scene by him going fast. And I was like, oh, that's so funny. But what a great way to be like, yes, you're right. Okay, her superpower is she's fast. Right? Like really announcing it in a very comic booky kind of way, but like still in a way that was clever and unexpected and accomplished so many other things before it did the thing you think it was going to do. Yes, she's fast.
I didn't think he was going to confirm that it was an actual superpower that she was born though. I thought he was just going to leave us hanging. I dig it though.
Yeah. I did. It's sort of like some things are sticking to the tropes, and this was one of them. But it was still doing a trope of mentioning the force that she has, but in such a subtle way, and that there was no wasted motion in saying, just like you're fast. Oh, he knows she's fast, right? But no, they took just the breath of that word and told her whole story. Unbelievable. But anyways, yeah, so it's like he misdirects you and brings you back and then smacks you in the face with it. But anyways, the date ends where he starts barfing.
As it should.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They really were putting it down. Like he was like a dog. He is like a dog. Like a child or a dog. Energy. Yeah. Very much so. Very much so. And my notes right here, all of that happened in the first 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. I'm blown away by how this show is put together. But then we get to like this weird side story that I kind of really didn't like. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a reason for it, but like, he's working as a giant model again, and
I was really taken aback that Flora hasn't been like, hey, bruh.
Yeah.
You might want to not.
Yeah, but you don't want to start doing that right away, right? Like she notices like he has some weird opinions, like what's his name? The hero is the good guy, and then she's like, okay, you know what? And then she pokes at him. Why do you think? Okay, so at least the reason he believes in it is good, but he'll come around. I can help show him things
His
that'll.
slogan is what was it? Get your mind right, half-wits.
Yeah, get your mind right, half-wits.
What that?
Oh man, I gotta say it's such a Walton Goggins line though,
I felt like I was watching Justified again.
Right, it was that kind of kitschy, but it's so perfect. They keep teasing it. I want more of the hero. I want more of that on screen. I have to have it. I can't wait for that. They keep teasing it.
That's how you build up your big bad for the end of the season. You keep wanting more.
Man, oh man, I can't wait. This is what, eight episodes, right? 7. All right. We should be halfway there.
Yeah, I think.
Anyway, so Scat goes off to apparently find some gift for Cootie that would help him, and it turns out to be a figurine. Mm-hmm. Like that was his bright idea. He goes, I got something for you that's going to help you on your date. How was that supposed to help him on his date? That was weird.
Like a little token,
But I thought he was going to like do something that's going to help him with his second date with Flora. Cause like, that's when.
Because we're American.
Right.
So, it's guaranteed to get lucky if you don't.
Right. That's the way it works.
Leave her alone.
So, but yeah, like it was weird. He got that, what's the show called? Something delivery.
The parking ticket.
Parking ticket. Figurine. I don't know. That was kind of a weird thing.
I don't even think it was just for his date. I think he just was just doing it to be a friend, honestly.
I guess. Fair enough.
Something that they bonded over. Because I feel like Scat, the one who gets the figurine, is kind of like obsessed with that show. You see it like last episode when he was in his room. And so and then Cootie was really laughing, but nobody else was like, the other two weren't really laughing. So I feel like that was like something that they bonded over. So I feel like that was just like a token of friendship, not necessarily to help him on his date.
That makes sense. No, I like that. That makes more sense. And then at one point, like where he almost starts flying, I'm like, wait a second, he's got powers too? So eventually,
everybody has. Like I said, is everybody gonna have powers? Is that because they're in Oakland and the power keeps going out? And
are they or is there somebody else in the neighborhood that is the cause for these power outages?
Ooh.
Somebody that has.
I think the answer to that is capitalism. Just knowing Boots Riley, it's just
yeah.
Capitalism is everybody's enemy at this point. So.
Yeah, but I mean tempered capitalism, but it's
we're in late stage, babes.
I know. But it doesn't cast a black curtain over the entire idea of capitalism. It's got its merits. Seems to be the most fair, at least in some ways, when it starts out, or what? I don't know. That's a further conversation. But okay. So these are the kind of conversations you'd be having at the office of Le Resistance,
exactly.
With Jones and Cootie's mom. Now, Cootie's mom seems like that old school '60s hardline direct action type hippie, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, those are scary people, man. Those are. Because old school hippies grew up in a different world, and they still think the world works on those currencies.
Principles, yeah.
Yeah, and if they
Movement
find
mentality, it's okay. You can say it.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, perhaps. Yeah, no, yeah.
It doesn't cost $15,000 anymore.
Right.
You can't just get a loan with a handshake. That's what you're talking about. That mentality.
Yeah, but like the other thing that people fail to consider is how much our population has grown since then. Mm-hmm. The distribution of resources has to have
globalization
has to have an effect, but like we're still waiting for the democratization of information to counteract that, but it hasn't yet. But maybe it will soon.
Waiting on Gen Z. Get your stuff together, Gen Z.
But then again, the idea of democratization of information with ChatGPT and GPT-4, anybody can speak an idea into ChatGPT and have it write code for you. So it's put the language of creation at your fingertips. So hopefully some smart people will be able to use it for something good. And
we'll never truly get to Web 3.0 because of capitalism. Everybody just wants those advertising dollars from social media, unfortunately. So
yeah, but maybe look at
the metaverse. It's a joke. NFTs ruined it.
It was a first step. NFTs. I mean, I don't know if they had any effect on it. It was like an
That's
ill-fated.
What they based it all on, and freaking Dogecoin.
No. The metaverse itself was like. NFTs.
All the ones that you saw people trying, let's not even talk about Facebook's joke of the metaverse.
Well, that's the one I was. Well, that's where the term even came from because they called it. Oh, we're gonna call ourselves Meta and have a metaverse. Stole from Marvel.
To do it. Yeah, I was gonna say. Okay.
Yeah, or DC or whatever. But in that
I want to go back to Web 1.0 where everybody had a website and it looked like poop.
GeoCities,
we're doing just fine. Bring back Angel Fire websites, okay?
Yeah. GeoCities, yeah.
Kids don't know today. Mm-hmm. I literally was on the internet for hours, and I remember those sites. Like now, I spend hours on our website, and it's just like doom scrolling on like Twitter or TikTok. Like it's just not the same.
I used to have one of those Ozzy Osbourne tribute sites where it would just be pictures, and you'd pick the moving background across the color, and
MySpace is where we peaked. That's all I'm gonna say.
Man, I swear to God, I wish my page had music associated with it. Like when you come to like my page, it's a curated experience, you know?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
now
yeah.
it's all sanitized and depersonalized. It's a whole thing. And that's what this show is like. It has like these subtle hints because like it's a lot of hints towards like the hero being like a complete fascist, and it's like, Cootie babes, I know it's attractive. A lot of people fall into it and get radicalized, but don't be one of them.
Yeah, and it seems like Cootie's mom is trying to radicalize Jones, and I guess that's another hint that maybe she's not such a good person. That ends justify the means kind of person who has an easy time overlooking humanity for the sake of an ideal that's bigger than humanity, supposedly. And anyways, so let's see.
Oh, he's got that rash from those clothes, though.
Yeah, what is it from the clothes?
That's what they're making it seem like, but my money's on Big Bang Burger. Big Bang Burgers. Big Bang Burger.
Interesting. Yeah, there's something to that. They left that sort of like thread untended in this episode, but like he's putting garlic on it.
Well, that's an old remedy for a lot of brown communities.
Yeah, but not when you have to go see a girl.
You gotta put it in oil and stuff, but yeah.
Even then, just not when you have to go see a girl. Like, but he's a child, so it's like he didn't comprehend that would be a side effect.
Wait, do you think the rash is like just like his it's like a what do you call it?
Like psychosomatic.
Psychosomatic punishment for exploiting himself and like the negative image of like his violence and hypersexualization for profit. Like, do we think that's what it could be?
I don't know that. I don't know if I would see that, but I could see him like being so like
because of the way that he was raised,
Well, to me, it just seems like a vacuum going into oversaturation of stimulation, right? And that pop into that is so quick that maybe that stress that he's tamping down is expressing himself in this way.
Yeah.
I don't know that, but it is strange. I know he's going somewhere with this, but I don't see where it is.
It's just like so many things. It could be the bad, the clothes with the bad cheap dye from slave labor. It could be the terrible fast food. It could be anything.
Or it could be a very clever way the CIA is injecting nano replicators inside his skin that can. I don't know. Who knows? But it's entirely possible.
Entirely possible.
Anyway, so she brings him to the hookup spot, and then it immediately got me thinking, how would that even work?
Exactly.
How would that even work?
I'm not chancing it. I 6'6". That's the cutoff. I'm not trying to push out no D3 basketball players or football players.
Right, but maybe they have a different way of doing it. Maybe her speed can do something where she can like women get off and they don't need.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there is some way that they can, with their powers combined,
Captain Shaggin', really?
Right. So it could be entirely something new. Because like he's not going to be able to do anything with any other girl without like going to jail. So maybe this they're perfect for each other. So then they kiss, which is all adorable and whatnot. And then we get back to Scat, where he was doing his little I can fly, and then he pulls a blunt out of his pocket, and it's a beautiful moment. And then he just crashes down on some garbage, and you see these metal pipes sticking out, and it looks like he avoids them. And like, oh, thank God he avoided them. And he gets up, he's like, oh man, he's totally fine. And then he sees the thing. I was like, oh my God. But it didn't look.
That was a nod to those stupid milk crate challenges back during the pandemic.
Oh my God.
Honestly, that was my take on it.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of dumb things going on during the pandemic.
But it's like, it felt like the government was literally delivering like milk crates and like freaking podcast mics to everybody.
Yeah, here, entertain yourselves. Oh my God. Yeah, no, that was terrible. And the hospital won't take him because he doesn't have insurance and he's not actively releasing blood from his body. So technically, it's not life-threatening.
When you go to the emergency room, you know what you do? You always tell them your symptoms and I can't breathe. Life pro tip from my mom.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
Because they kind of have to after you say you can't breathe. And like, you know, they kind of.
Right.
As long as you're not cutting off an old lady or an old person, like, in severe need, just.
Yeah, as long as you're not being unethical about it. But at the same time, once that has been said, it's almost like on these cop shows where the suspect says, "Nah, I'm gonna talk to my lawyer." The cop's like, "Nuts, we can't do anything ananymore," right? So like once somebody says I can't breathe, it's like, I'm not gonna be liable for this later.
Exactly.
Yeah. Come on.
That's the only time that it works. Passing the buck on in a hospital. Nobody wants to get sued or lose their license. So you know.
Yeah, but she still makes him take the goddamn bus with a transfer to get to the other county hospital.
And that's a lot to be said, right? If we're living in an urban center.
Yep.
Where a lot of things are privatized. Like a lot of the services are privatized, you know?
Yeah.
And you have to go so far out for groceries, for healthcare, for school that's not a charter school, that's a lottery system, things like that.
Yeah. It's pretty, man. And it looks like he's going to die. And being that it's Boots Riley, you can't trust that he won't die. So I'm like, man, he's a goner. But like, I didn't understand, like, it didn't make sense to the story. Like, his sacrifice has to mean something. This is a superhero story.
Nobody would even let him use the phone? No, I don't believe that.
No, she did. The other lady did, but he didn't.
It took forever, though.
Yeah, no, but he was a millennial and he didn't know anybody's number.
Ooh.
Right? So he got the phone in his hand.
No, that's Gen Z. I remember phone numbers still.
Well, you're not a millennial.
Yes, I am. I was born in 86.
Yeah, but that's not millennials. Millennials
yes, it is. Millennials are 81 to like 93 or 92. You're thinking he's the tail end of Gen Z.
Yeah, but I've spent so many years hating millennials. I'm just going to call them millennials. What I mean is like, you know.
Oh, you're going to do the boomer term. Anybody born after the time I was born.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. It's
okay.
When I say millennials, I mean like the 30-year-olds, the 25 to 30-year-olds.
Fair enough.
Yeah. That's who I mean. Those are the ones who deserve disdain.
Not all of them.
No. But most of the people who earn my disdain happen to be in that demographic.
Totally get you. But yeah, I still remember phone numbers.
Yeah.
It's hard to do now. Don't get me wrong.
No,
but anyway, that's important. It's up here.
Right. I remember like phone numbers from like 10 years ago by heart, but like memorizing a new number is different.
I remember my very first landline that I got myself as an adult.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That was a while ago.
Yeah. I just have like certain girls' numbers that'll never go away. I wish they could, but they just won't.
6.
Yeah.
3,
Yeah. Oh, songs. Yeah, I dig it. Songs associated with it, right? Anyway, so like, so he doesn't die because Felix comes, 5-minute Felix, comes and saves him because why would they call me Felix? He's like, forget it. So he gets there and we still don't know if he did save him or not because they end on that beautiful poem, about how the snow falls on everybody equally, no matter what part of life you're in.
Parking tickets!
Man, what is that show? It's I look forward to it every time because like now it's like, oh, they are going to do this cool little thing where you deliver this amazing poem with this strange, grotesque imagery to go with it. It's just so cool. It's like Ren and Stimpy on peyote. Yeah. It's amazing. And then was that Neil deGrasse Tyson as a weatherman?
Was it? I thought so, but Boots Riley knows people, so I wouldn't. And Neil loves to be all up in everything pop culture.
Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. At first, at least, if anything, I wanted it. In my mind, it was Neil deGrasse Tyson. That's who
fine.
it was.
I won't break your head canon.
Yeah, good. But yeah, like what a beautiful poem about like just the different ways humanity experiences connection and love. And just the way he walks through it, some who will die never giving life to the world, selfishly keeping it for themselves. Some people who'll never find love, some people who do, some people who think they it's really, really I want to know what that poem was. If it's something he wrote or is it like a famous poem? I think it's
something Boots Riley like wrote, I think. It sounds like something he wrote.
It's so good. So good.
And I think it's genius if he did write that. That's his original, that he chose to animate it to really like capture somebody's attention and want to know.
Yeah. But so and then he gets the banned episode. The guy at the comic book store has the long lost episode that drove people mad. Mm-hmm. And people did people just get sick or did people die? I forget what he said, but like, it got banned because people started having tremendous existential crises after watching it. But he said he watched it before and it just affected him for like a week, but he was a true fan. And you could tell Scat was a true fan too, because he's like mouthing the words along to every episode. But it does look like he's going to die.
Yeah. Which, he's kind of the one out of the trio. It's like, he wasn't really doing much. Let's be honest. Between Felix and Jones, he kind of, you can't be afraid to kill your darlings when you're a writer. Kind of one of those.
I guess, but they made me like him. He was like, it's such a
time we've known him. Yeah, he's
big smile on his face.
That's another trope. It's always the sweet one that dies. That sets something into motion. Look at Rue in the Hunger Games. Just saying.
Yeah. That person always gets eaten first.
Yep.
But
that's the trope.
Well, anyways, I mean, like, do you think Scat is dead?
Oh, he's gone. Boots Riley don't play around.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Scat.
Yeah. When that snow started falling, I was like, it's over.
I was like, snowfall, FX. That TV show. Which is a good show. Well, at least the first 3 seasons. I haven't finished it yet.
But yeah, I mean, like, I'm still scrambling because like everything he does is for a reason. There's always something that's meant, like, even like, for example, the close up on the lips, it was meant to bring you in and then pull you back out. So what does this death mean? Like, what seems so wasteful? Maybe that's the point.
Yeah.
It just seems so wasteful. And then the only redemption we're going to get is the vengeance that Cootie brings for us, I guess. Mm-hmm. Because he's gonna break wide open and
because this is probably
go
his
nuts.
First death.
Yeah.
And if you remember from a kid, like your first like death experience and how like traumatic that is, like say if it was like a grandparent or heaven forbid like a parent or even a pet that you really love, like that first death in your life is super traumatic.
Yeah. I used to have a pet chicken when I was little, and when he died, I didn't eat chicken for like 2 months. But then it's chicken. But for 2 months, I couldn't eat chicken at all.
Chickens will, if you give them a name, they will answer to it. They do have a little bit of...
Yeah, no. We were super cool. He would come running to me. He only got along with me and my grandmother. He hated everybody else. He hated my sister, would peck at her feet, bite her, scratch her. Nobody could come close to him except me and my grandmother. Oh. He was such a cool little dude. But then, the neighbor's cat killed him for no reason. She didn't even eat him. Oh. That was terrible. That was pretty bad. Yeah. Well, it wasn't peaceful. Like it was like a stray cat that the neighbor fed. It wasn't really his cat, nothing. But anyway, so but he's not going to be happy, and to have the power to lash out that he does, ooh, that's going to be fun. And I hope
that's going to bring the ire of the hero. We already know that's the conflict. I think.
I almost think like the hero is just going to be doing his douchey things. And he's going to run into Cootie at a time where so many other things are falling down on him. And he's going to see him as an easy outlet. And we're going to get like, those like viral videos where the Karen gets her comeuppance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like one of my favorite ones is, you seen the one in the Victoria's Secret store?
Where she falls out on the floor, that one?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And she's like, oh my God, it's like, and you see this person and the act they're putting on, and it's just so satisfying to watch none of it work. And like,
everybody just ignore.
Yeah. And she freaks out even more. It's so delicious. It's like finger licking good. And I think that's what we're going to get with when Hero. So they're going to maybe just keep building him up as this douche. And then finally, at least that's what I hope, happens. That would be fun.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a very interesting way how Cootie and the Hero interact in his moment of grief.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's definitely what it's building up to.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I hate to see how Jones is going to react because, you know, he got shut down by a private hospital, basically. So she might fire.
Yeah. And it would leave Jones as slim pickings for Cootie's mom. Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
What is up with his mom and his dad? Like, I'm still, like, they just left us hanging on that for real.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like the dad. I really stop losing my cologne. Yeah, I mean, he's such a lovable guy. And especially, like, now that he's getting older, he's just more and more lovable, you know?
He's the cool uncle, you know?
Yeah.
Literally in this show, but yeah, in real life, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't decide if like I'm on the mom's side or not. Like, she seems so cool and capable, and she's like a badass. Yeah, I know, but maybe there's some redeeming qualities. I want to like her. She seems so cool.
All I know is they better be related, otherwise I riot. If they're not related and they just stole him from the hospital for nefarious purposes, I
don't think they are at all. That's more and more the sense. I don't know why.
How could a normal person give birth to that baby?
Right. So something.
Unless it's like opposite of how dwarfism works.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
No, it wasn't he? He was giant when he came out. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think so. She had to be a giant. She had to.
Or it could be like, you know, these people got like giant DNA and then implanted a giant embryo inside a normal woman without her knowing, switched it out. When that woman died giving birth, they quickly went into the hospital, stole the baby, and absconded with it.
So many ways to... Yeah, this show sprouts a lot of conspiracy theories. And we're all right until proven wrong at this point.
Right. And he is so wild and dark that any far-fetched dark seeming theory seems entirely possible.
I'm telling you, if you haven't seen Sorry to Bother You, like the end of that movie blows my mind every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
It's so insane.
Like, even though you know the ending, it still has rewatchability. I can't recommend that movie enough. I saw that movie in theaters, by the way.
That's great. I didn't get to see it until it was for streaming. But man, as somebody who works on the phones, that movie was hilarious. And at first I was so mad at the ending because I'm like, wait a second, you had such a good movie and then so the more times I've seen it, I'm like, oh, I kind of get it. Even that it's like there's a completeness to it. But yeah, it was like it was so weird at first.
Yeah.
But yeah, this show is
like this show. It's like, I don't know where we're going, but I'm just so down for the ride. It's a very rare circumstance where I'm just like, I have no idea how this show's gonna end, and it doesn't bother me.
Yeah. Right on. All right. Well, let's close the show and get ready for next week.
All right. Well, let's see. You guys can follow us on the interwebs. You can find us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at FSA Podcast. You can check out our website at tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. You can also email us at CapesandLunatics@gmail.com. You can also feel free to give us a call at 614-382-2727. That's 614-38-CAPES. And where can they find you, Mozzie?
Oh, they can email me at mozzmanzor@gmail.com or find me on Facebook under Mozz Manzor. That's MOZZMANZOOR.
And if you want to hang out with your favorite internet granny, you better be a meta girly. You can friend me on Facebook, or you can find me on Threads and Instagram at your favorite internet granny. That's GRANNIE.
All right, me hearties. Thank you for riding on the Boundless Main with us today. Come back again next week as he sail once again full stream ahead. Yarg. All right.